You are the chosen few, protectors of our world. This is your time.
Anthem is EA's play for the social shooter space. Following in the footsteps of games like Destiny 2 and Warframe, Bioware has crafted a third-person sci-fi shooter that's designed with one thing in mind: to pull players into a near-endless loop of shooting and looting. In some respects, Anthem is absolutely successful in this endeavor, and there are moments when the combat feels divine.
And the walls protected our families.
It looks incredible too. Anthem is a beautiful game crammed full of elegantly designed locations to explore, both open expanses and smaller nooks that are hidden away in a huge sandbox built to reinforce the world's mysterious lore. If nothing else, Bioware has crafted a lovely looking game, and we certainly enjoyed it from a visual perspective. The story has you taking on the role of a nameless freelancer tasked with nothing short of saving the world. With a colorful cast of characters by your side and chattering in your ear, you have to take on an old enemy hell-bent on world domination using the mysterious Anthem of Creation.
But with the power of the Anthem at my fingertips, I will end all this needless suffering.
The gameplay loop is pretty straightforward. You'll have to join forces with 3 other players, head out to a hotspot, kill what's there, and then hoover up the loot that drops. That said, the social element doesn't always work to the benefit of the player experience, and if you fall behind for any reason, you'll find yourself dragged along to the next encounter whether you like it or not. Similarly, if your teammate works out a light puzzle when you're not paying attention, you'll have zero idea how you progressed. While the weapons themselves are generally pretty boring thanks to their conventional design, the gunplay itself can be pretty amazing, and you'll feel all-powerful as you zoom and swoop around the battlefield and dispatch your foes in style. There are 4 different types of javelins to choose from, and you unlock them as you play. They can be personalized to a reasonable extent, with room to choose your grenades, 2 weapons, an ultimate attack, and a bunch of slots for additional upgrades as well as cosmetics. The hub world, where you make your upgrades, for Tarsus, is a fairly unremarkable place that, along with all the loading screens, sucks the pace out of the experience.
Remember, we're a team. I'm right there with you.
It's a freelancer job. Always has been.
But the Anthem still rages.
Much of the time, you're limited to walking around slowly, visiting the people who are just standing around waiting to deliver their lines. The main campaign suffers from pacing issues as well, and the middle act is an absolute grind, where you've got to fulfill a number of targets in free play in order to progress the story. Once the story is finished, you can, of course, crank up the difficulty to Grand Master and go after legendary and so-called masterwork weapon drops. The game is certainly designed with repeat plays in mind once the campaign is done, with additional difficulty levels to attempt, 2 more strongholds to tackle, new challenges to undertake, and replayable versions of earlier missions. It feels strange to be praising the combat in a Bioware game, while longing for a more substantial narrative experience, but here we are doing just that. The action is fast-paced and engaging, and some of the combat encounters look spectacular. But it's a shame that there wasn't a touch more variety when it comes to mission structure. It also doesn't help that there have been a fair few technical issues to hamper the experience, with crashes, missions not loading properly, and strange in-game bugs. There's also an element of vagueness that doesn't help matters either, nor does the overall pacing, as it means you're often yo-yoing between interesting conversations and exciting combat, with these highlight moments chained together by boredom and frustration.
Rely on each other. Unleash your power.
Bioware's DNA can still be felt throughout this strange adventure, with world design that often evokes the spirit of Mass Effect, and a story that engages and entertains, even if it is a rather distilled and disjointed experience compared to the studio's usual work. It's far from perfect, however, with some strange design choices holding things back. It looks and sounds phenomenal though, and in terms of the pulsating combat and engaging world design, there's a lot to like. It's just a shame then that the studio decided to streamline its signature style to the degree that it has. Because if this gameplay had been coupled with meaningful choices and a bit more variety, we'd be talking about the studio's return to form. As it stands, it's still very much a matter of having to wait and see what the future holds for Anthem.
Never give up.
Ready, Javelin 1?
Let's go! You are freelancers.